Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Kind of picked a shitty time to do it. It's about to rain. I didn't realize that. I thought it was going to rain only earlier in the day. But I'm making the video to tell you guys the update on what's done to the car, being that a lot of people is asking me like what my build list is ever since I made the new dyno video, making the numbers I did. But realistically everything looks the same, but everything that's changed from last time is the complete engine was removed and done from the head block to the trans. So I'll pretty much tell you guys exactly what I did to the trans. And for the people who don't know already, just a quick overview of what you see is I have a full DW fuel line. They sponsored me. A full DW fuel line. Damn, what the hell is the word? Fuel kit, whatever. So they sent me the fuel basket that's in the rear seat, equipped with the fuel pump, all the lines and fittings that I needed. Everything here is PTFE, so it's like the best rated things and everything for E85. I actually have some E right there. I actually needed some gas, so I just put some in there. I might drive it, but now that it's drizzling, I'm not too sure. But so they sent me the full kit. I have an Innovate flex fuel sensor, which is hooked up right there, that gauge right there, next to the phone. And visually, what else do I have? So when I put the engine back in after it got built, I put the PLM mounts. They were pretty cheap, and it's not that it's just mounts. Mounts are very important. Don't get cheap mounts, but like they look like good quality, and I heard good things about it. I asked questions before I got it. Also, I mean, the hybrid racing hoses and stuff is not. That was like when I first built the car, so that's early on. The K2 neck, I actually got the wrong angle. I actually needed the one that came out here to have more clearance, but clearly this works too. When I got the car tuned, I just got some, I think it's called like Extreme NGK coil packs or something. They're very expensive, but it helped with the tune recently. I got 2200 alpha injectors, I believe. I used to have Deechworks 1200, but it wasn't enough, so I quickly ran out of fuel with that one. That it's on flex fuel, so this was E. I just filled it up. I might put some more in it. Not sure. I have another canister in my other car. So as you can see, it definitely rained, but I in the meantime I unmasked my lights. So I painted the front end to get it ready for wrap soon. I still got a little work to do. I end up freaking last minute over painting right here, so it's like kind of messed up, but I could sand that or whatever and just redo that section. I just painted it so the wrap can have a surface to stick to. I could put in a little clip. I made a little time lapse just for myself. I'll probably insert that soon. But to continue talking about the rest of the car that you can't see clearly is the engine, like the internals or whatever. Let me go sit in the car. So as far as the actual engine itself, I wrote down some notes to give you like an accurate description of everything I did. Let me open up my notes real quick. And so when I first built the car, I was being on a budget, never turboed anything before, and I achieved doing it on a budget with this kit, and the kit lasted for a decent amount of time with the OEM turbo that it came with. It lasted about 2 years, even though I didn't run the coolant line or whatever. I saw some guy on YouTube referring to my video that I didn't run the coolant line. I chose not to do it. It wasn't a big deal to me. I knew I was going to replace the turbo anyways. Lucky for me, it lasted 2 years. I know a lot of people didn't have that same luck, but for me, it lasted 2 years. But anyway, so for the head build, I'll show you guys. I'll probably list all the stuff in the description. For the head build, I literally refreshed the whole head. I got new gaskets, ARP head studs, time and chain guides, Type S oil pump, new tensioner, new guides, Super Tech springs and retainers, valve seals, valve keepers. Got a new valve cover gasket. Front crank seal, timing chain, rear main seal, VTEC solenoid gaskets, VTC screen gaskets, and Honda bond, just so you know, to seal it all together. I asked a professional guy who builds engines for like a living what he recommends me getting. I had this list for a very long time, and eventually one day, I think it was like Black Friday or something of last year, I went to my local car store, Tri-State Motorsport. They was having a sale. I went there. I asked, because if you see my list, I kind of put estimated prices, if it focus, like estimated prices next to things so I could like look it up and buy it myself. And it, from what I seen, I roughly estimated it will cost me about $1,700. You know, that's a rough estimate. It could be like 100 more, 100 less. And I ended up paying $1,400 on sale that day. So, you know, I went for it. And at that time period when I went for it, I blew my, which turned out to be bending a rod. I blew my block. But it kind of sounded like a rod knock, like the head was tapping kind of. So I was like, alright, fuck it. I'm going to go buy all the stuff I need for a head and just do a fresh head build since I had a block coming from California. So that being said, the block build was a Metacore block. It's a company on Instagram that I found. And, you know, I asked some questions. There's this kid on Instagram, I think in California. His name is All-Wheel Drive FG2. He has a two-door coupe, all-wheel drive. A lot of people might know him because it's not many out there. So he works closely with those people. I asked him some questions. He recommended them to me, and I ended up buying the block from them. So it comes with Trum pistons. I don't know how to say it. Rings, scat rods, king racing bearings, the Metacore system that they provide, board and hone, and then the whole sharp block was included also. So Metacore, in like simple terms, is just another version of the CSS blocks from CSS, but they develop theirs their own way, and you know, they take pride in the way they do it, and they take pride in the way they have developed it. They they claim it rates 800, so 800 is way more than I need. So I mean, honestly, I wouldn't expect me to be at 620 right now. So that ran me about $2,250. Then at that point, I was like, I paid that money. I wanted to put on a credit card because I didn't want to spend that money right away, but the way I was sending my payment wasn't working for some reason, and I just ended up paying for it cash. Well, virtual cash, like, sending money. And then next I decided to look into transmission things. I think I bought that on President's Day or some kind of holiday, I forgot. But everything I got because I took my time and I did it. Honestly, it's not because I took my time. The block, I had an issue. It got shipped to me. It got shipped cracked, which is not their issue. It's more of a shipping issue. And being that like I was waiting so long for it, it got shipped to me. It's cracked, and I had to send it back and had them rebuild a new block. They ended up building me an A2 block instead. I had like the spare time of the car just not being driven or anything worked on it because it has no engine. So I decided to get my transmission stuff, and I decided to get BF gears. I got BF gears 1 to 4. I got new synchros, and I got an M Factory differential. I wish I knew more about transmission builds and things of that nature because I would have got a final drive also, even though it is like an additional $1,000 or so. But since I had like everything spread it out, and so like the time periods of when I was building, I didn't rush and build everything at once because it's a lot of money, and I didn't realize how much money it was until one day I sat back and like I added everything up, and it's like $9,500, $10,000, and then it broke my heart a little bit because I like my car and all, but like I don't really care to be spending that much money on my car. I don't care if it is broken or not. I would have just fucking turn that shit all wheel, like turn it back to all motor again at that point. But because at the end of the day, it is just a Civic. I know everybody put a lot of money into their cars, but when you put a lot of money into it at one time period, like all at once, and you're an adult, you got your life to live or whatever, it's not like the most responsible thing to do. But anyways, my gear ratios is my final drive is stock, My first is 2.8. My second is 1.9. Third, 1.3. 1.35. Fourth, 1.0. And then my fifth, because I only got 1 to 4, my fifth is actually from an RXX because their fifth gear is a little longer. And my sixth is OEM. So the reason I changed my fifth is because if you go from fourth, an aftermarket fourth, into fifth, the rev range is still kind of a little wonky. It's still kind of like you're gonna shift thinking the rev's gonna drop, but it's still gonna be very high, potentially redlining still. So we'd switch it to fifth, to an RSX fifth gear, just like, you know, food for thought. Maybe get a fifth if you think you're gonna go in a fifth. If I had a final drive, honestly, I wouldn't have need to do any of that because the gear ratios would have just been longer. But I don't know. I don't know how to explain gearboxes and stuff like that. But for the whole gear setup that I got, I really wanted PPG. Everyone say, you know, buy it, like cry once and don't pay extra later type situation. It's just $4,000 or whatever it was at the time for PPG gears, even on sale, I believe, if it even was a sale. It was just a lot of money. Like it wasn't, like I said, I didn't expect to spend this much money on this whole little build, but it took me a span of like 6 months or so. That being said, PPG gears is like $4,000, just for 1 to 4. I got my whole setup that I, you know, pieced together myself for $4,300, which retrospect is a lot, but I got more than just gears. I got the gears, the synchros, and a new differential. All that being said, like I said, it's, you know, being transparent, it was about $9,500 as far as the gears, the head, the block. And I think this is with or without like the money I paid for labor for the guy who built my head and my transmission. He charged me about $1,500. Shout out to him because he actually helped me out a lot. He was hooking me up with certain things. He told me, hey, this bolt is stripped. He took care of some of it. I paid for some of it. You know, he really looked out for me. I guess he saw I was kind of stressing a little bit because every couple of days, hey, something's fucked up. Hey, something's fucked up. And, you know, he's a good guy. And I don't know him, but I know his peoples, and his peoples recommended me to him. And then, like, you know, it's like, you know, someone who knows someone. It's always a situation like that. But he's a good guy. I still need like all pressure gauge and like little miscellaneous things just to make sure everything runs healthy again. But yeah, that's pretty much my whole build for everyone who's asking. Like I said, from what you could visually see, I have a 6262 precision non-ball bearing turbo, and I have flex fuel sensor. I have a full fuel kit, so it's not just about the engine build. I could have did all this and had no fueling. I have a full fuel kit from the back to the front, new cage, new fuel basket, and everything. Only thing I didn't really do was port the manifold, honestly, but not that I don't care about the numbers that I'm gonna make. I just know after like 550, 600, I'm gonna be spinning all day if I don't get the proper tires, the proper this, the proper that. So it's like, I'm happy with 600. I was happy with 550. I was happy with 430. The numbers really doesn't matter, but it does feel, you know, nice to say I have a fucking 600 horsepower Civic FD2 build type situation. But yeah, for everyone who asks about my engine build, what is all done to it, from what I'm thinking, that's physically everything that's done, like from head to bottom. I got like the new transmission. I had made a short reel about it. Not transmission, sorry. The new the shifter, the hybrid racer. My girl gifted me that for Christmas. But that's after that. That's literally it. Nothing else is performance. Everything else is just kind of looks. I have my new wrap, hopefully going on soon. I'm going away again. I'm going to Puerto Rico, and that being said, after the day I come back, the very next day is a Honda meet in Jersey that I want to go to, but I honestly don't know. I paid for it and everything, I think, this morning. I don't know if I'll make it because I really need to wrap this car, and I don't have time. I'm like super tired right now. I'm still at work. It started back raining. It's a good thing we came in the car. But yeah, that's like I said. That I could keep saying. That's literally everything I did to the build. I tried to be transparent. So I gave you guys some numbers. If you have any more questions, DM me, comment, whatever the case is. But I know a lot of people, when I posted my last dyno video, a lot of people comment onto that video, asked me what I did. A lot of people went into old videos, asking me what I did. This is everything that I could think of at this moment that I did to make 620, and I'm hoping that it's a healthy 620. It should be the build that I did to the whole car. The head, block, trans. The trans is meant to hold 800. The head is, I don't know what it's meant to hold, but I know it can hold power. Like, you don't really need to do much to a head to hold power. It's usually the block. The block is set to hold 800, so the build, should hold 800. Because I didn't do final drives and things like that, I don't want to I don't want to do like 800 horsepower. I kept it at 6, a whole 200 under what is rated. So hopefully everything, works out in the whole. But I don't know how long I was talking for or how long this video is going to be. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully you can actually sit down and like listen through it. If you guys made it this to the end, cool. Appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who subscribed also. Subscribing, it actually motivated me a lot. This rain is really not motivating me because it fucking has rained all week. But I ordered new tires because of that. I ordered my rotors. I have brakes down here. I need to get the car, ready. I want to do some street videos and whatnot to get that kind of content out. Because, a lot of people, I posted a video like 2 days ago showing I'm driving, and all of a sudden, like, my brakes isn't, like, braking because it's so like, hot and, like, toasty or whatever. And I kind of had to do some ratchet shit and go in between two cars. I didn't have to. I mean, I didn't have to. I don't condone what I did, but it's either braking extremely hard for no reason and, risking failing even more, like the brakes failing more from heat. Or, realistically, driver mod and, get yourself out of a situation and go in between two people. A lot of people done worse. I've done worse. It is what it is, but that's what I did. But like I said, the rotors came. I have no space in the garage right now to go work on it. It's raining outside. I'm not going to work on it outside in the rain. But like and subscribe. Thank you.